Stormers make their debut and Clermont give them a lesson in what European rugby is all about. My name's Mark, let's talk rugby. This one's starting off pretty tight affair. Both teams being very competitive at the breakdown, putting a lot of pressure on. Stormers concede a penalty at the line out and Clermont point to the post. Plisson though misses the kick, and it's kind of indicative of how Clermont went in the first half. A lot of misfiring from them and taking a while to get the game going. We then though have BJ Dixon puts in a high shot. It's a yellow card. It is contact with the head, but the mitigation is he does lower his height before the tackle, and there is a step from the guys tackling as well. So yeah, felt yellow card was pretty on the spot there. Clermont then they kick that penalty into the 22. They go from the line out and they spread it, but Free gets in there and he just absolutely strips the ball. And then Stormers are able to spread the ball themselves and they kick clear. We then have an exchange of penalties in the first quarter, so it's 3-3. Stormers then they get another penalty and they pull ahead from the tee. They're back to 15 then. They get another penalty as Clermont again, they don't seem to be up to the pace of the game in this first half. They kick into the corner, they go for the line out drive, and Free goes through a gap and he goes over for the first try of the game. Lebock misses the conversion, but it's 11-3 and things are really looking good for the Stormers. At this stage, they seem to be able to get on the front foot and they're making meters as well. When they carry the ball, they're also, forcing mistakes from Clermont when they have the ball and being able to turn the ball over too. Clermont though, then they try and up the pace and they're then putting some pressure on the Stormers themselves. They win the penalty, they kick into the corner. Stormers illegally collapse the maul, but we're playing penalty advantage, so Clermont can't really take advantage of that though, so we come back. They go to the corner again, but this time the Stormers are able to halt the maul legally, and Clermont are actually pinged. In that instance, Stormers, they're able to kick clear. And yeah, it looks like at this stage that nothing's really going right for Clermont. They haven't really gotten the crowd into the game, given them much to cheer. And, Stormers may be thinking, well, the step up to European rugby isn't actually that big after all. We then have a series of penalties for the Stormers and they get themselves into kicking range. Blumencheese, he pops it over and it's 14-3, looking ominous there. They then, Stormers, as I said, they're being very aggressive in defence. They're quick off the line. They're getting in there and disrupting Clermont's running lines. But Clermont do get a penalty for kits off with hands on the ground. They then kick up the field again, but as the way the first half was going for them, they knock on in the line out, and you're thinking, okay, yeah, chance is gone. Clermont then turn the ball over and you think, okay, it's on again. They're close to the line, pretty close to the post as well. So they turn the ball over. They go and attack deep into the 22, but they get isolated. Penalty to the Stormers, and then that's half time. So, Clermont not really clicking in the first half. Stormers looking good. looking like, they might actually debut with a win in France, which would be very impressive for them. Then we come into the second half. Clermont picked the pace up a bit, and Stormers are still competing hard at the breakdown. They're still making it difficult for Clermont to make any real meters on the carries. Dixon, he gets a great turnover for the Stormers, and they look to go from their own 22, but they knock on. And yeah, Clermont still finding it hard to break that Stormers line. Pernod he's coming off his wing to try and get involved in the game and trying to make something happen. But Clermont then, they start going kind of wide to wide to find some space. And, it begins to work for them, and they go from wide out on the left to wide out on the right, and they get some space out on the wing. He goes over in the right hand corner, and Plisson is able to convert, pretty lucky actually with the conversion, because he hits the post with it, but it goes in off the post. So they've come back then to 14-10. We're about 10 minutes into the second half at that point. They're then, Clermont kind of changing things a little bit, where they're moving the ball away from the contact area quickly. They're trying, offloads, and they're also just trying to do anything to stop the Stormers from isolating them and turn the ball over. They're also going for little kicks over the top and crossfield kicks, and it's helping them make some meters. It's also, keeping the Stormers on their toes, that they can't just come up hard in the line as well. And we then have a kick from Clermont. It's really nice kick, and it looks like it's probably going to be a 50-22, but Leblanc gets there. He reads it really well. He covers it. He catches it. But then he kicks upfield and he kicks out in the full. So we're back for him for the throw from where he kicked it. So it may as well have been a 50-22 after that exchange. Then we have Tabergian. He's great line he breaks through, but he's in behind the Stormers cover and just completely drops the ball. Tries to kind of disguise it by kicking it forward, but it's been spotted, so we come back. And we were playing advantage at that time as well. So Plisson then, he slots the penalty from, not a difficult angle and not too far out. So 13, 1 point game. And, seeing now that the pressure is coming on the Stormers, they make a real hash of a high ball. And it's one of these ones where the ball, it's almost like it's, when you get two magnets and they're kind of repelling each other, the ball just didn't want to stick to anyone. And it looks like Clermont are going to get in there and get them over the line and get a 5-meter scrum, but the Stormers recover really well. Right on their own end line, there's 3 passes, all under pressure, and they kick the ball out and relieve the pressure, but it's only really a stay of execution really for them, because still Clermont are putting the pressure on, and they're finding space now, but it's just little mistakes. They have a knock on the right wing when it looks like they might be going through and over, then flirting with the touchline on the left, foot and touch, and they're just not quite getting there. But you can see that, momentum is definitely with them. Clermont again, they have advantage. The Stormers have collapsed a 5-meter maul. Pernod then goes for a cross kick, but geez, like, I don't know where it landed. It must have landed like in row Z of the stand, because it completely clears the pitch and goes into the crowd somewhere. And Raka, like, his reaction, he's not happy at all. He's gesturing to him, and you can see, like, he should have given the pass to him. But as I said, we are playing advantage, so you come back, it's kicked into the corner. The maul is stopped by the Stormers legally this time. And you can just feel at this stage now that this is kind of a turning point in the game. It's one of those ones where, it's potentially it's a legendary win for the Stormers if they can just keep that defense going and keep them out and somehow clear and get up the field. And for Clermont, you feel like this is their chance now. Momentum was with them. If they can get over again, maybe that's going to take them to the victory. And they manage, like, they're coming in hard, carries, they're making ground on the carries now, and they're sucking defenders as well. They're able to spin the ball out wide to Raka. He goes over in the corner. Plisson drags the conversion left and wide. It was, wasn't a great kick at all, but Clermont now have hit the lead. It's 18-14 and we got 15 minutes to go. And it feels like this second half, like, complete reversal of fortunes for the teams. Now, for the Stormers, the passes aren't sticking. They're getting pinged by the referee. And everything that was going wrong for Clermont in the first half is going wrong for the Stormers. And everything that was going right for the Stormers in the first half is now going right for Clermont. Clermont, they're doing, pick and goes, and they're gaining ground and make their way again into the 22. Ball back to Plisson. He pops over a drop goal. It's now 21-14. And, it's looking like Stormers really have to produce something special if they're going to come back in this one. Clermont, they're able to force another error from the Stormers. They hack the ball through. Willemse, initially, he does really well to, he picks the ball up and just looks up, and there's just Clermont players coming at him. Nice, puts on some nice feet. He's able to move away from his own try line. But then, Stormers try and run the ball again, and one of them gets isolated. Can see the penalty at the breakdown. It's right in front of the post. Easy for Plisson to put that one over. 24-14. At that stage, you're thinking, okay, Clermont have the game won. Stormers, they're going, hunting for the losing bonus point, but they've got to get another score if they're going to do that. So they're trying to get territory. They're trying to get themselves back up the pitch, and they're in the Clermont 22. Move breaks down. Pernod then makes a break up the left wing from the turnover. He almost makes it to the line, but there's a covering tackle. Like, he kind of kicks it on, and the tackle comes at the same time he's kicking it. But then, like, Pernod is like theatrics on the ground, looking for the penalty. Would have been more at home over in Qatar in the Football World Cup. That one, referee waves his protestations away. Stormers, they're able to regather the ball and clear. Then, they're making some progress up the pitch, but when they get to kind of around halfway, like Clermont are doing well to pin them in the half. Stormers don't really, like, seen Stormers before using their kicking game to good advantage. Like, they have decent chasers on the wing, But today they weren't using that at all. They didn't seem to want to kick the ball away because they were probably worried that if they did, that they wouldn't see the ball again until the end of the game. So they're keeping it in hand. They're trying to move it. But again, it's just mistakes are letting them down. The ball's not sticking. They knock on in the last minute. We have the scrum then. By the time the scrum is over, the clock is in the red. Clermont get the ball off the field. Final score is 24-14. Yeah, this was a really good, really good European game, really. You had, a big swing of momentum from one half to another that we've seen in Europe before, where you can't, against, the top European teams, you can't take your foot off the gas and think, okay, we've got a lead now, let's protect it. You've got to keep going, because as soon as momentum shifts, like a team that looked, $1 million when they're on top, suddenly, they don't look up to standard when things go against them. And that's what happened here, where Stormers were looking so good in that first half. Momentum shifts in the second half. Clermont then are playing so well that they're making the Stormers make so many mistakes that they're not looking up to it at all. But this is a lesson really for the Stormers, and they're a really good outfit. They're going to learn from this. They're, I imagine next week, that we're going to see a much improved performance for them. Those players now know what European rugby is about. Clermont, once the momentum shifted to them, the crowd start getting behind them, and you can see why, they've been such a big team in Europe, although they're still kind of waiting for that first Heineken Cup. But you can see how much passion the players and the crowd have for this competition, and that really helped them in that second half, where they were they were pressing, clawing their way back, and the crowd are getting behind them and driving them forward. And for Clermont as well, this is a big win for them. I know, we always say, for European rugby, you have to win your home games in this competition. But when it's a big team that's coming to town, getting that win is certainly not straightforward. And they'll be very relieved to have performed in the second half and to have got that win. From here now, Clermont will feel another performance like the second half will probably put them into the knockout stages. Stormers, they're going to be home next, so they're going to want to get that first win on the board and kind of steady the ship a bit. But this is a really exciting game. As I said, seesawing between the two teams. And if this is what we're going to see with the Stormers in Europe, or the South African teams in general in Europe, I'm absolutely all for it. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Phil.